at some point, at some point, at some point. To believe that most people are good people. Most people are good people. Not all of them, but a majority of people are good people. And we tend to consider everybody else any decision that we make. For instance, if you want to move to another state right now, you'll be hesitant to move because of the people around you. Some of us won't want to leave because we feel like we don't want to leave our job and we don't want to have a bad image. You don't want to leave your friends because you don't want your friends to think differently of you. A lot of the decisions that we make in our lives, we're always factoring in how somebody else would feel about it. And we got to stop doing that. At some point, you have to take control of your own life and move forward from there and figure out a way to make things work on your own accord. Do things your own way. A lot of us are failing in some aspect of our lives because of this very reason. So I wanted to get on here and say that to the people because it's important that I continue to share messages with people on things that have allowed me to grow. And these aren't things that I've completely overcome either. Just because I'm doing a little bit better right now in my life opposed to when I was younger doesn't mean I'm doing perfect and everything's cool. I have areas, and I always have areas of my life that need fixing up as well. Today's message is that most of us are failing to improve because we're not taking control of our own lives and we're too worried about how somebody else would feel based on the decisions we would make. Somebody just said, my kids are stopping me from moving. Don't allow that to be the case. Because, let me ask you this, do you love your children? And if your answer is yes, which I'm sure it is, right? If you are thinking about making a decision to move, whether those kids live with you or they live with their mother and you guys are separated, right? Obviously, your intentions are to improve your life. And from a distance, if you could improve your life to the point where you could improve theirs, it is worth it for you to go ahead and move. Because ultimately, if you love them, you're going to stay connected with them and you're going to have that opportunity. But if you move them and you move them to a different school in a different area, is it tough? Absolutely. But if you're going to move to put yourself in a better situation, then you're going to help them improve further along in life. So the only reason any of us ever consider moving is to get away from something or to go into a new career or look for new opportunities. So this is part of life. What's good. But again, those simple things. We fail to leave jobs because we're worried about what people think of us. You know, a lot of the conversations I have, unfortunately, right, for a lot of people, they say, oh, well, you interview a lot of people that ratted, right? Because we interviewed Charleston White and Woody and people like this, right? At the end of the day, they have to make a decision what's best for them, not what's best for everybody else, what the public is going to think or who thinks this and that of them. And Rah, rah, rah. You have to make a decision that is best for you in your life, right? Some people choose to sit in life the rest of their life behind bars. All the props to them for doing what they do, right? Some people decide to stay at jobs that they're unhappy with because their friend got them a job. Your friend got you a job, so you're staying there because you feel like you have to, you don't want to betray them and you don't want to look, instead of just telling them, bro, this fucking job sucks. I don't want to be here. I want to move on and I want to move further in life. I want to be further along in life. Some of us do this shit and we're constantly being peer pressured into doing shit that we don't really want to do. We're going to hit the club, or we're drinking, or we're smoking, or we're doing some other type of drugs because everybody around us is, because you don't want to separate yourself from that friend group, although you don't even feel comfortable doing that shit. You got to take control of your own life. If you take control of your own life, you're no longer going to need to be worried about those things, but that is a very extremely difficult thing for a lot of people to do. And again, I'm not shaming you for it because I'm no different than you. I'm no different than you. A lot of us are in relationships, right, that we don't want to be in, but we're doing it for the kids. We're doing it because we don't want to fucking leave that other person, without anything. Like this is life, unfortunately. You know what I mean? Like, it's how this shit goes. And there's too many people that are sacrificing themselves and their future because of someone else's opinions on it. A lot of us don't make the necessary adjustments because we might be slightly popular on social media, and the last thing you would want is for these people to look at you some sort of way. But those opinions, these people don't matter. They don't matter. If you're doing something that you genuinely in your heart feel that you're doing for good, do it. These guys don't matter. This is live. I'm live right now. I hope you're different from Umar Johnson, because dude popped up on a podcast and you guys played softball with him. We didn't play softball with him. We asked him the questions that we wanted to ask him. And if you feel a specific way, you are allowed to question it, right? The thing is, for me, I want to allow people to have a voice where I'm not constantly pushing back. I want to hear from them. Now, if they're lying, it's on them. If they're telling the truth, I appreciate it. 99% of the shit that you see on the internet is absolute fabricated or complete lies. It's just bullshit, right? So when people are telling the truth or they're trying something, more often than not, people just discredit it because you already see people full of shit, right? All day long. And more people believe the bullshit than they believe the real shit. When I spoke to Dr. Umar, I spoke to him prior, I spoke to him after. I genuinely believe he is working on getting this school done. He's just facing a lot of scrutiny and a lot of pushback on getting this thing done. So, most people think that you could just walk into a school and just build this thing overnight. LeBron James built a school. A couple other athletes built a school. They took 5 to 10 years to get these things done. But the thing is they didn't go online early and tell people they were doing these things. Now, when you're renovating an old school, go into any old school right now and tell me that you think you'll be done with it in a year. There's no chance. You know what I'm saying? Unless you are like a billionaire, there is no chance you're going to be able to walk in there and get this thing done in under a year. It's going to take you a long time. And when you're dealing with certain contractors and things of that nature, and starting up a school, getting the permits and licenses, it's not going to be easy. If you're focused on the way to get this thing done is from fan funding, even tougher. because you don't have the funds to be able to move at any moment that you want to move. It's constantly raising funds, hoping that you can get this done, dealing with everything. There's a lot of shit to deal with. So in my opinion, from what I heard, I genuinely believe that he's working on the school. It's almost done. But he doesn't want to say it's almost done yet, because as soon as you say something, they're like, oh, wait. You got to go do this now. So again, if you've never built a school, or if you've never seen somebody build the school, just reserve judgment for now. Just chill. Let's see. Let's wait. You know what I mean? The bottom line is there's a building there, right? And there's a building with the name on there. So just be patient and wait. You won't know. Yeah, I just sit down and I communicate with people. I have an open conversation, an open floor. We're able to speak, they're able to speak. The first time I speak to anybody, there's rarely ever any pushback, because I am not there to belittle somebody. I'm inviting people into my home. I'm not there to make them feel like shit or talk down on them. I'm there to hear their story, hear their side. A real, raw, organic conversation. I'm going to ask the questions that the people want to know, but I'm going to allow them to answer it without sitting there and trying to behave like somebody else that has another platform that they could just go there and do it and say, oh, I don't believe you. I think that's fucking bullshit. No, that's your job. The supporters, the fans, the haters, that's your job. If you don't like them, you don't fuck with them, by all means, don't fuck with them, don't like them. It's up to you. I mean, look, people tell me all sorts of things, right? There is 24 hours in a day. There is time sometimes to pick up the joysticks and play Madden. It's okay. You have 24 hours in a day. You shouldn't be using all 24 at just work, or your life is fucking miserable, right? So he should have more than enough time to be able to visit these schools, do interviews, and this is raising money as well. Doing whatever he likes to do. Everybody needs to be able to go out and explore and live life. You can't just say, well, if you were doing this, you shouldn't have time to do this. If you're living like that, then you ain't living right. By the way, if you're rocking with me, please double tap that screen, hit that like button for me. But if you're living like that, you're not living right. You got 24 hours in a day. Do something that helps you feel full, complete. Don't spend your entire day just working. Don't spend your entire day on things that you don't like doing. Get some moments in your day for some things that you do like doing. Now, if you're a bum and you're smoking weed on your couch all day and you're playing video games and you focus on more the bullshit than improving your life, and you're not making money, then maybe you need to focus on your craft a little bit more and getting better at life in order to improve your situation, so you're not just some bum on the couch. However, if you're doing things and you're working and you're providing an income to your household or to your family, or you're building something, then go ahead and find those moments to enjoy yourself. And even for the bums, have those moments to enjoy yourselves. However, you gotta be able to take control of your own life and move forward, because a lot of us aren't doing it based on the opinions of others. We can't focus on that. This type of truth will never get hundreds of thousands of views. I stopped chasing views because views aren't important. We content creators have fell victim to the numbers game. Oh, well, you didn't get 1 million views on that video. No, man, I got 20,000 views, and those 20,000 views 15,000 of those views, I touched those people's lives. So it's not going to go viral because there's no bullshit included into it. But those people that watched it learned something that day. It wasn't gossip. It wasn't scrolling through your algorithm and seeing, oh, the shade room. It wasn't that. It was some real shit, some food for the soul, some education for your mind, some growth to learn, a powerful situation to grow from. It was one of those things. And I'd much rather be the person that could reach out and help somebody's life than to feed them bullshit all the time. I don't want to do that anymore to anybody. And I fell victim to it. You know, it was chasing views, chasing views, chasing views, chasing views. Again, that is the reason why me and Homeboy fell out. I don't want to chase views anymore, so I don't want to pay for that shit anymore. If I want to do conversations, I want to have exclusive conversations with people. I want to have powerful conversations with people. Why not? The YouTube money is not good enough to be focusing on chasing views. It isn't. I could do without. Right now, I could never do another video again and inevitably make way more money than I'm making right now. Because this type of stuff actually does slow me down a little bit from building my other businesses, which are far more profitable than this one right here. Far more profitable than this one right here. And then we got people that, you know, worship internet personalities that believe something like you typed right now. When in reality, that person that he's mentioning is sending me texts right now. So how's that possible? I'll probably be sitting down with him in a week or two, and he'll be issuing an apology and telling you why he did it. And you'll be sitting on the internet feeling stupid because you spent hours of your life thinking that something was true because somebody said it. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes people say things to get a rise out of people because they're trying to get something accomplished. And if they get it accomplished, they'll just run across the internet and be like, hey man, here's why I did what I did. It worked out slightly in my favor. Boom. Let's have the conversation. Let's talk about it. This is why, you know, I was just playing on y'all. I was just playing on y'all. And then they say it. And that's the way this internet stuff works. But people don't understand it. Somebody said, what business am I into? You know, I did tell people I was going to get in contact with them to help them get into the business. I'm trying to, you know, and I was talking about merchant services, okay? I'm trying to create a program where everybody can dive in at once and be able to have an opportunity to make money. But it's again, I guess some Dr. Umar stuff to y'all, except for it won't take that long. It has to be perfectly crafted so I can get everybody in the same room, not the same room, but the same virtual room for everybody to have a conversation so we can make sure we give people the opportunity to make money, and we could teach a large group of people, because usually it's like one person that'll jump in and, you know, they get coached along the way. But I got a ton of emails, and I still have those emails, and we'll figure it out and we'll make it work. Slow. When you talk about a gap in the business where your women give you no attention. Slow. A masterclass for content creators. I'll be honest with you, I don't think that I would be the person to teach them. There's people on my team possibly that could teach them, but I don't like being fake and taking money from people for that, because I don't feel like I've mastered content creation. I think if anything, I've mastered the art of conversation. You know, Mama K, just when people are ignorant, remember, don't time them out. Just remove them from the channel. All in all, worst date experience ever. Go, no hesitation. Damn, I don't know. That's a good one. I just genuinely don't know. I'm trying to think. I don't think I've had like terrible dating experiences. I tell you what's the terrible part of it all though is like when you hook up with something that you regret and they try to stay in the crib. That's the only part that's what would be the worst thing is like, can you leave? You know what I mean? Like waking up or even just going back into bed and just being like, bro, I got work to do tomorrow, baby. You gotta like get away. I appreciate your time and your fucking vaginas, but you gotta go. I've been out of the dating game for so long though. Like I've been in a relationship for a long ass time, and I've always been a long-term relationship type of dude. Salute, my brother. I appreciate that, Jason. Do you want some coke? I'll be honest with you. I've done coke before in my life, but when I was like 19, I'm 40, I would probably die. I would probably die. You know, yesterday I did an interview where we were talking about mushrooms because I did mushrooms once in my life too, and I hated it. I'm not into drugs. Like I'm cool with drinking, not even smoking. I'll smoke. Like I haven't smoked in a couple months again. I always stopped smoking for months on end. I don't know. I'm just not into drugs. I'm not a preacher. Definitely not. Who was the dude behind me? My back seat. Shout out to South Africa. Do people think that stuff works when they type that, or are they want to type something, so they looked at their phone and they're like, what do I type in here? But yeah, you know, the internet is a place where if you allow yourself to go on social media, there's going to be plenty of judgment that comes your way because you're opening yourself up to public opinion, and people are going to make all sorts of weird ass narratives about you, that I'm trying to take somebody's girl, that I'm doing drugs, that I'm broke, that some people thought because I had my aura ring that I was and it kept moving from finger to finger, sometimes I take it off, they thought that I was married and I was going through a rough divorce. So like people, you gotta let them rock out with their opinions. They're gonna go nuts and think whatever they want to think, and it's good because haters boost the algorithm more than anything. Because if they're constantly viewing your content and commenting on it, that allows for the algorithm to say, okay, all the people that they know, it'll now kind of recommend it to them. And so it'll be recommended more and more. So it's a win-win situation, but you're dealing with a bunch of losers. I mean, according to some people, you can be broke sitting in a Maybach. So, and I guess you can't be entirely wrong, right? Like just because you're sitting in a Maybach doesn't mean you're rich. You could still have a hard time with money, especially because the expense is so great. But I don't know. Some people literally make statements like that vehicle is rented, and in my head, I'm like, how could you not understand math to the point that if I was renting this, I would actually be a lot richer? Because in order to rent a vehicle of this magnitude, it's going to cost you at bare minimum for at least $1,500 a day. I got LLT. Top 5 mental things that you had to remind yourself. I'm not the only one going through it. There's an end to this. I'm strong enough to get over it. I've made it this far. I'm worthy. I think you deleted the wrong message, didn't you? Oh, no. It's just another bum. It's a bum. But yeah, that's part of life. We are supposed to go through hard times. I genuinely think, maybe number one of what I just said, when I'm going through hard times, the number one thing I remind myself would actually be, there's a lesson to learn from this. I don't really use the word losses. I use the word lessons, because that's all it ever is. When we play video games, we've mastered that, right? You lose, but you figured something out to get yourself closer to the win, to be able to beat that stage. You know, from playing Mario to Sonic to whatever game we're playing, it's you learn another lesson to be able to break through that barrier to get to the next level, the next stage each and every time. Losses are only losses if you view life that way. But losses are lessons, and don't get me wrong, it's a setback when you lose. Like you have to start from, you might be here and you have to start here again. But it's okay, because you're gonna inevitably get there, because the next time you got that obstacle here, you're just gonna breeze right past it. I like these questions. What do you want? What do I want people to think about when they think about me? That you could be yourself, and it's completely okay. Like, you don't have to sell lies to be able to make it. And genuinely, you're going to make it a lot further within yourself. The money can't go with you. You know what I mean? Like, you want to have a lasting impact on somebody's life, bullshitting who you are isn't going to work, because more often than not, people are going to see right through. Just be yourself. And if you're yourself, you got a fan base, right? Like, how many of us, how many artists do you listen to, or do you hear people listening to you? You're like, how do you like this music? Like, how the fuck do you like this music? But they do. So that person has a fan base in this person that you know. You don't have to like it. They like it. They gravitate towards it. That's all that matters. You're not going to be a fan of everybody, and everybody's not going to be a fan of you. And everybody's not going to have the same taste in food you like, music, women, none of it. Everybody's going to have their own taste in life. Allow them to do that without trying to force your opinion on everybody. You might think Michael Jordan is the best basketball player to ever live. I might think it's Kobe Bryant. But it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, what are we going to argue about? Because we're going to butt heads and that. I mean, it's what makes sports cool, right? But it is not, you're not going to be able to really change their mind. They like who they like and they like what they like. And you can't, you've seen one of your boys date a girl that you're like, ew. But they see something in her that you don't. It's okay. Let them be happy. Don't sit there and be like, yo, I ain't gonna lie, bro. That bitch is ugly. You know what I mean? Let them do what they do. That's all. Congratulations. There's no way that you sat there and you typed that out while listening. Every guy that looks like you, I immediately stopped listening when you start speaking. And you stayed here to type that out. Now, if you're not stupid, I don't know what you are. Most people don't know how to hold themselves accountable like they hold others around them. Absolutely. What's up, Ron? How you feeling? Yeah, everybody wants everybody around them to conform and be a specific way because they want to be able to do what they can do. Like most women in these generations right now are all fucked, right? And they have this idea of a relationship that was pitched to them by their friends or by other toxic people. And they think they should be able to just navigate through their life freely and get into a relationship, and the man just has to take care of them and they can do whatever they want to do. And they could say, well, I hold value here, here, and here. But that man actually determines if it's valuable, and the woman should determine what if the man's needs are valuable. And if you don't mix, you don't mix. But a lot of women nowadays, because of your point, right? I want to bring it here to bring it full circle. A lot of women nowadays, they don't have any accountability. Like this is the way things are, and the way things I want it to be. And then when a man says, yeah, but I'm not really rocking with you in the way that you're behaving, so I don't want to continue moving forward. They'll say anything aside from their fucking up. They'll say anything. They'll go online. They'll start talking all sorts of shit. They'll start making up bullshit and lies and this and that. But the last thing they would do is be accountable for their own actions and what they're doing. People expect things without giving things. You know? Facts. A lot of women nowadays don't even like working. Women nowadays are happy working fucking 10-hour weeks. And they feel like they're contributing to the household. Well, he's supposed to pay all the bills. So I just go on Amazon all day or Shein all day and buy shit. So I'm fucking contributing. Because I buy my own fucking clothes and I pay my own car. You know? Another moron. Facts, yeah. That's probably one of the biggest problems in relationships nowadays, right? When a man provides and has specific expectations of the household, it isn't just cooking and cleaning, right? Although those things are important, if a man is providing, a man is not allowed to speak about how he provides, right? But a woman will always tell you about their cooking and cleaning, when those things should offset each other. If you say, I don't want to hear that you provide for the household, well, I don't want to hear that you cook and clean. But there's still, right? Now eliminate those two factors. What else are you doing to provide value to this household, to this union between the two of us? What are you doing to help improve us? Are you doing anything? Are you not? Are you bringing any ideas to the table for further growth? Are you bringing any finances to the table? Are you chipping in at times? Like, as men, we love a woman that allow us to be ourselves, and we love a woman that contributes to what we got going on. You know what I mean? If you're a man and you're an entrepreneur and your woman comes home and she's trying to talk you through things to, for your company, for your business, to say, I can help you, or I want to help you. We don't even need to accept the help, but we accept that they're offering help. We just love that feeling of like, oh, she cares about me, you know? And I was talking to my boy the other day, and I go, like, sometimes as men, we just want a girl to come home and say, let's fuck. You know what I mean? Like, in a little bit sexier of a way. I don't want to get all graphic with everybody, but, you know, we want that from our women. And if we have that, we want to be able to just walk through life. Like, there's no doubt about it that men are visual creatures. Like, we see things around us. If we see a beautiful woman walk by, if we had a woman that is just kind of like, damn, you see her? That shit is just sexy. And what does it make you do? It's just like, you just appreciate your woman that much more for understanding that you're a man at the end of the day. Not that you're chasing after these things, because women have those same thought processes, right? Like, women have their favorite artists and their favorite musicians, and they think those men look attractive. You can't sit in a world and believe to yourself that your woman or your man is not attracted to anybody else. Unfortunately, that's just how life works, right? So it's okay if your woman is attracted to fucking George Clooney or Chris Brown or fucking Drake or whoever the fuck they're attracted to. It's okay. What are you gonna beat her up because she is? No, it's okay. And also, that's the same case for men. It's okay if your man thinks fucking Jennifer Lopez is sexy, or fucking Ice Spice or fucking Lotto is sexy. It's perfectly okay. That's fine. You know what I mean? Like, you could be understanding of that and just say, okay, yeah, you know, she's hot. You know what I mean? Like, that's fine, and then move through the relationship. But when you have that in a woman, you trust that woman and you value that woman so much, because the one thing you're allowed to do more than anything is be great friends with your spouse. If you're able to be really, really good friends with your spouse, and your spouse could be your best friend, where when you have certain thoughts, you can run them through her and move on. Like, when you're hanging out with your boys and your boys are up to a bunch of fuck shit, the last thing you want to do is ruin the relationship with you and your best friend, you and your spouse. But that's a concept that most women don't understand, because insecurity is at an all-time high. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that says stupid things, we just get rid of them. At what age is it just time to give up? There's never an age that it's time to give up. There's an age that it's time to give up being full of shit. There's an age that it's time to give up allowing others to run your life for you. That's what it's time to give up, but not give up your life. Too much to live for. Yeah, I got the green screen Maybach right here. You see, if I move my hand fast enough, you can see the green screen. You see it? You see it right there? Boom. Puerto Rican and Dominican. Yes, I am. But yeah, at a certain point of your life, you have to understand that you have to take control. There's going to be a lot of people that will have judgment, especially if you're a public figure, or if people know you, or if you have a large group of friends, whatever the case is. They're going to have opinions. Their opinions do not matter. Sometimes it's a relationship, and we're scared to get rid of that relationship because we don't want to offend that person's family or the spouse. But if you are unhappy and you feel like you are stalling, then it's time for you to make an adjustment. And sometimes you got to make an adjustment. I had a really, really good friend of mine that I've done business with for most of my life, all of my adult life. And one of the decisions was, when I had moved out to South Florida, I was telling him that in order for him to grow, I could give him a huge opportunity to move out to South Florida. But he has kids, and him and the baby mother were split. And it was tough for him. It took a couple months to convince him, but when I did, he now is huge in real estate. He runs a hospital. It was that decision for him to move forward, and now he provides for his kids like he never thought imaginable. You know, like he never was able to put that together back home in Buffalo, New York, and then he was able to put it together, and his kids love the fuck out of him. They understand the decision. They're old enough to understand. They speak, and they have a great relationship. And sometimes that's what it takes. But most people are afraid to do it because you're worried about how others are going to feel about you. Yeah, facts. No more blah blah. Facts. It is impossible. It's so tough to go home to a nagging woman. You know, the Bible says it's better to live in a desert than to come home to a nagging woman. And it's true. Like, if you're a provider, and a lot of men are, if you're a provider, you want to be able to be out, get that money, come home, and have love, because that is ultimately what you're doing it for. You're providing because you want love and you want to build. You know what I'm saying? Just how that shit works. Most people don't get that. But yo, I'm about to take my ass into this gym. Do me a favor, double tap that screen for me, hit that like button. I try to go live as much as possible. Every time I do, I'm trying to kick some gems. I'm trying to talk to people to help them get in a better life, because I ain't no better than y'all. Y'all all got the same resources that I do. I just have done certain things that have helped me move forward in life that I want to share, because it's not some fucking secret. It's just a mindset of saying, you know what, I got this, I could do it. And one of those things was the message that I gave to y'all today, that at some point you have to take control of your own life and fuck what everybody else thinks. Go do you, and I promise you, you'll be able to make your own motherfucking bread. All right? Peace.